Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramu Panishadaihi Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidasura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. On page 72, the last verse, and then the verse after that, next page. Jara marana mokshaya Mama Shritya Yatantiye Te Brahma Tadviduh Kritsnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam Sadhibhutadhidevam Mam Sadhiyajnancha Ye Viduh Prayana-kale pichamam te viduryukta chetasaha. So the 7th chapter was concluded with these two verses. Jara marana mokshaya mam ashritya yatantiye. Ye yatanti, those who strive. The right means jara marana mokshaya. Mokshaya for release from jara, the old age, marana, the death. For release from old age and death. That means for release from rebirth. When you are born, then there is birth and the growth and the old age and death. So, freedom from old age and death means freedom from the next birth. Meaning freedom from the cycle of birth and death. Meaning the absolute freedom that you gain in this lifetime itself. That is called Jivan Mukti. So that's what Vedanta teaches, that it is possible that one can be mukta, liberated, even while living, while in this body. And that is the goal that Vedanta presents. Jara Marana Mokshaya, for gaining freedom from old age and death, meaning for gaining freedom from the next birth, meaning gaining freedom in this birth itself. Mam ashritya yatanti ye yatanti, those who strive. Make the right kind of effort. And this is done by knowing Ishvara. Vedanta teaches that knowing Ishvara is becoming Ishvara. Isha darshanam svatma rupatah, as Ramana Maharshi says that Isha darshanam, the vision, the knowledge of Ishvara, svatma rupatah, as one's own self, that is the true Ishvara darshanam. That we know Ishvara in many other ways, but ultimately, when what I consider Ishvara or Bhagavan or Lord is known as my very self, that's the ultimate knowledge about Ishvara. Te Brahma tad viduhu, those who gain liberation, they know Ishvara in its entirety, they know Brahman in its entirety. In the beginning of the 7th chapter it is said, Yad jnatva neha bhuyo nyad jnatavyam avasishyate, knowing which there remains nothing to be known. Knowing Brahman, knowing Ishvara, knowing the truth, there remains nothing to be known, because what is manifestation of the truth or Ishvara. And therefore here, when you say that when Ishvara or Brahman is known, nothing remains to be known, everything is known. What is that everything that is known? So this specified here. Te Brahma tad vidhu krishnam adhyatmam karma cha akhilam, they know the Brahman in its entirety. Adhyatmam, they know the expression of Brahman as a self. Karma, they know the karma, action, which is what runs the whole universe. Sadi bhuta ajidevam, they know the adhibhuta, manifestation of Brahman in the elemental world. Adidevam, expression of Brahman in the divine world. Sadi yajnam che viduhu, also they know the manifestation of Brahman in the yajna, the sacrifice. So this is called knowing everything. It is said here that when you know Brahman, when you know Ishvara, when you know the truth, you know everything. Because what is Brahman, what is Ishvara. So what do you know what is? So what is explained here. Adhyatma, the individual, Adhibhuta, the elemental world. See, these entities are involved in every interaction. As last time also we said, that this interaction that takes place between you and me, that I am speaking and you are listening. So I, and my organ of speech is in Adhyatma, at the Atma individual level. The words that are uttered are Adhibhuta, at the elemental level. And this speaking becomes possible because of the grace of the presiding deity, that is called Dig Devata, the speaking because of the Agni Devata, and then listening because of Dig Devata. So when this Devata, Anugraha, grace is there, then speaking becomes possible, hearing becomes possible. So Adhyatma is involved, Adhibhuta is involved, Adhideva is involved. These three are involved at the individual level, elemental level, the divine level, the devatas who control all this vyavahara. These three are involved in every interaction, in every vyavahara. Then what has produced all this is called karma, as we'll explain in the next chapter, chapter 8. What kind of karma? It's called yajna. When does yajna become possible? When there is grace of the presiding deity of yajna, it's called adhiyajna. And therefore, expression of Ishvara as Adhyatma, Adhibhuta, Adhideva, Adhiyajna, Karma. So this is the fivefold expression of Brahman or Ishvara. So this is one place here when we are specifically told what it is to know Ishvara. That everything is, what is Ishvara? When do I say that I know what is Ishvara? When I recognize that as the individual, which is also expression of Ishvara. There is also expression of Ishvara. Devata is also expression of Ishvara. Karma, which makes this possible, also expression of Ishvara. Yajna, which is specific kind of karma, also expression of Ishvara. And so this is how Ishvara manifests. And recognizing Ishvara in all these expressions is knowing Ishvara in its totality. So this is the vision of the wise person who sees what is Ishvara. Now this is how the 7th chapter concluded. In the last 2 verses which you just read, Lord Krishna uses many words that are new, used for the first time. Adhyatma, Adhibhuta, Adhideva, Adhiyajna, Brahma, Karma. So these are the words that Lord Krishna used in these 2 verses, essentially for the first time. And therefore, naturally, there is a curiosity in the mind of Arjuna to know what these entities are. In fact, in order to create the curiosity in the mind of Arjuna, Lord Krishna uses these words so Arjuna wants to know, oh Lord, what do these things mean? And thus, the ground for questions is already created by Lord Krishna. By saying this to Arjuna, that when you know Brahman, you know Adhiyajna, Adhibhuta, Adhyatma, etc., which are the words which Arjuna never heard so far. Therefore, there is naturally a curiosity on the part of Arjuna to know what these mean. And that's why the 8th chapter begins with the question of Arjuna, or questions of Arjuna, where Arjuna asks about each of these entities. So now let us go to the verse number 8, chapter number 8. Arjuna uvacha kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama adhibhutam cha kim proktam adhidaivam kim uchyate adhiyajñah katham kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha katham jñeyosi niyatatmabhihi. Arjuna Vacha. Arjuna said, or Arjuna asked, Kim Tad Brahma? O Lord, you said that Te Brahma Vidu Tat Krishnam, they know Brahman entirely. Kim Tad Brahma? What is that Brahma which the wise person know in its entirety? Kim Adhyatmam? Lord, you said that the wise person also knows Adhyatmam. Atmanam adhikritya yadvartate. Adhi means the adhikaranam, the locus. Adhi, Atma is Adhyatma. Here the Atma means body. Adhyatma means that which is centered or located on the body. That's the individual. Kim Tad Brahma? What is that Brahma, Lord? You say that the wise people know. Kim Adhyatma? What is Adhyatma which also wise people know? Adhyatma means what obtains at the individual level or expression of Ishvara at the individual level. Because what is Bhagavan. Therefore, what is at the individual level is also Bhagavan or Ishvara. Kim Tad Brahma? Kim Adhyatmam? Kim Karma Purushottama? He Purushottama. Purushanam Uttama, Purushottama, or Purushascha Uttamascha, that's even better. Karmadhara Samasa, Purushascha Uttamascha Purushottama. Well, one who is the most exalted among Purushas, because the 15th chapter will talk about the Kshara Purushaha, Akshara Purushaha, Purushottamaha, 15th chapter. So, who is the most exalted among them? Yasmat Ksharamatiitoham Aksharadapichottamaha Atosmi Loke Vedecha Prathita Purushottamaha. Because I am superior to Kshara Purusha and of Akshara Purusha, therefore I am called Purushottama. Or Purushascha Uttamascha Karmadhaya, that means Purusha as well as Uttama. Because our Swamiji said there are not many Purushas, only one Purusha. Not that there are, if there are more than one Purusha, then there is a question of the most exalted Purusha. What is this Purusha? Purusha means Purnaha. Purnatvat, the word Purusha is used in the sense of Purnaha, one meaning. The one that is Purnaha, the whole complete is called Purusha. Or Purishayanat Purusha, one that dwells in the Puri, the city of the body. So Atma, the self, the consciousness that dwells in all the cities of the body is called Purusha. Purishete, one who dwells in the Puri, in the city. So Purusha is Purnaha, complete, whole. Purusha, the one that dwells in all the embodiment, that means who is the self of all. So Purusha, Purna means Brahman, and Purusha, that is self of all, is Atma. So word Purusha, in fact, one meaning of Purusha is Atma, the self that dwells in all the cities of the bodies. The meaning of word Purusha is Purnaha, complete, whole, which is Brahman. Therefore, word Purusha means both Atma as well as Brahman. And therefore, in the word Purusha itself, there is the identity of Atma and Brahman. Atma, that is Brahman, or Brahman, that is Atma, who is Purna, complete. Uttamaha Purush. So Purushaha, Purushashchasa Uttamaha, that is Purusha as Uttama, the most Uttama, most exalted. Uttara, Uttama. In English we have the comparative and superlative. ER and EST. So good, better, best. In Sanskrit, Tara and Tama. Ut, high, Uttara, higher, Uttama, highest. So, Uttama, that, the one who is highest, the most exalted, and Purusha, one who is Purusha, complete, whole, the self of all, Brahman. He Purushottama. So, Arjuna uses these names for the Lord to invoke also the grace of the Lord. Hey Bhagavan, O Lord Krishna, you are Purushottama. You are the indwelling self of all. And then you know what is inside because you are the self of all. You know what is all outside because you are the self of the Jagat or creation. You are all-knowing, Sarvajna, omniscient. And there is nothing that is not known to you. And so you alone would know. He Purushottama, Kim Tad Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma, Purushottama. He Purushottama, O most exalted Lord, what is that Brahma that you spoke about? What is Adhyatma that you mentioned? What is Karma again that you mentioned? Adhibhutam cha kim proktam. What is Adhibhuta? Adhidevam kimuchyate. What is Adhideva? He repeats that. Whatever Lord Krishna mentioned in the last two verses in the 7th chapter, those very words are repeated by Arjuna because he wants to know the meaning of those words. Maybe not like us, Swami, okay, Lord, proceed further, When he talked something new, it went above head, under head, proceed further. But Arjuna seems to be in no hurry. Imagine that this dialogue is taking place in the midst of battlefield, not in a lecture hall. If you all the time, and when you attend a full-time, residential, you all the time, all number of years you have, this dialogue is taking place in the midst of battlefield, where conches are already blown, and the battle instruments are already, shouting, screaming. The horses, the elephants. You can imagine hundreds of thousands of all these animals and human beings are there. How noisy that atmosphere must be. In that atmosphere, this most profound dialogue is taking place. Most greatest wonder, is it not so? This is the wonder that is brought about by Lord Krishna. This Upadesha is normally given in Aranya. Aranya means in forest, where there is loneliness, tranquility, no disturbance, no loudspeakers, nobody has to disturb you. So that is the kind of atmosphere required for a communication of this nature, Aranya. But that teaching Lord Krishna brought in Rana, in the battlefield. Because life is like a battlefield. And you cannot wait for a time when everything will be over, it will be quiet, then I will. So no, you never find that, maybe. It's like this person is at the seashore and says, I want to see the water when all the waves will subside. They will never subside. You see the water when the waves are there. So there is a temple of Lord Krishna in Nathadwara in the Rajasthan. And a very important temple for the followers of the Vaishnava Sampradaya. So many people go, and if you go there, it's always crowded. You always have to hold up yourself and you have to make your way, otherwise you can be thrown about and there. This is how, and then you have to see Bhagavan like that. If you think that I will have darshan of Bhagavan when everything, that will, by then the thing is over, because 15 minutes. So you have to have Bhagavan's darshan when all this struggle is going on. Similarly, when all the struggle is going on, which is symbolized by this battlefield, one has to gain this knowledge in the life which is like that. But Arjuna seems to display a great deal of peace and tranquility. How his mind must be at peace to ask these questions. These are very profound questions. And these questions cannot arise in the mind of a samsari, really. Arjuna has become a jignasu, an aspirant, a seeker of knowledge in the true sense. And in this atmosphere, he is asking these questions. Kim karma purushottama? Lord, what is that karma that you spoke about? Adhibhutam cha kim proktam? What did you mean by word adhibhuta? Adhidevam kimuchyate? What is meant by the word adhideva? Adhiyajnah katham kotra dehesmin purushottama? He Purushottama, in this body, who is adhiyajnah? Adhi understand what adhi means, adhikaranam. So those who know a little bit of Sanskrit know that there are 8 vibhaktis. And 7th is called the adhikarana saptami, right? Okay. What is adhikaranam? Location. So locative case it is called. So adhi means adhikaranam. What is located in the individual, in the elements, the devatas, in the yajna. Adi yajna katham kotra desmin Madhusudana. Hey Madhusudana. One of the names of Lord Krishna is Madhusudana. Madhu is the name of a demon. Madhu and Kaitabha, these were 2 powerful, ferocious demons who emerged from the ears of Lord Vishnu when the process of creation was to begin. Lord Vishnu is still sleeping. And Brahmaji is about to create the world, and then these 2 demons emerged from the ears of Lord Vishnu and attacked Brahma. So then Brahmaji had to wake up this Lord Vishnu to protect him. So Brahmaji performs a prayer to the deity of sleep, Ratri Devi. There is Ratri Sukta. O Ratri, please wake up this Lord. He's sleeping. Wake him up. So that he can kill these demons and I can proceed with my work. So this Madhu, the Lord woke up. When the Nidra Devi woke him up, Lord Vishnu woke up and had a battle with this Madhu and Kaitava for thousands of years. That's how the description is. And these demons could not be slain. They become very arrogant. And they asked Lord Vishnu, hey, come on, you asked for a boon from us. Look at this. The demons asking Lord Vishnu to seek a boon from them. He says, all right, please be killed by my hands. That is, I want that, you should be slayed by me. So they asked for their own death, and that's how Lord Vishnu was able to slay them. So Madhusudana, one who slayed the demon called Madhu, very powerful demon. Madhu also means karma phala, Madhu also therefore means bondage, and Madhu also means samsara. Adi yajna katham kotra dehesmin madhusudana pranana kale cha katham. This also was stated by Lord Krishna, that these yogis depart from this body remembering me. Pranana kale cha mam te vidur yukta chetataha. These yogis who have focused their mind upon me, even at time of death also, they remember me. So, at the end of 7th chapter, Lord Krishna spoke about those yogis whose memory is maintained even at the time of death. Imagine. That can be called the highest accomplishment when so much struggle is going on. Well, death is the most difficult time for anybody. First instinct is to try to hold on to life. And whatever else depends on whatever you thought in your life, but whatever kind of things go on at time of death. But Ishvara is maybe the last one. Prayana kale pichamam te vidur yukta chetasaha. Lord Krishna said, yukta chetasaha. Those whose chetas or the minds are totally concentrated, focused upon me, they remember me even at the time of departure from this body. Meaning that it is possible to develop that kind of nishtha or abidance in Ishvara, that even death also will not disturb that nishtha. It is possible. Ideal death. So, in fact, although so many questions are asked by Lord Arjuna, Lord Krishna will dispose of the answers in one word, one sentence. And the whole chapter is devoted to, there are 7 questions. 7th question is, Prayana kale cha katham jnayosi niyatatmabihi. O Lord, niyatatmabihi, by those who have controlled their mind, how are you to be known even at the time of departure? So that becomes the main theme of this 8th chapter, by the way. In 8th chapter, Lord Krishna essentially teaches us how to die. How to die remembering the Lord, so that you become one with the Lord. That is the reason why this 8th chapter is what we recite when we feel that a person is passing away. We recite the chapter. Or since this chapter also talks about, as we will see, the passage of the jiva from this body to the other world, this chapter also is recited after the death of the person. So in that sense, an important chapter of how to retain memory of Ishvara even at time of death. Prayana kale katham jnayosi niyatatmabihi. Niyatatmabihi, by those niyataha atma yahi te niyatatma atmanaha tevi niyatatmabihi. Meaning those by whom the Atma, the mind, has been completely brought under control, how do they remember you even at the time of death? So we'll see that the first 6 questions are answered by Lord Krishna quickly, and the 7th question is then answered elaborately because that is the main theme of this chapter, the death of a yogi. So let us go to the verse number 3. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavodhyatma Muchyate Bhuta Bhavodbhavakaraha Visargah Karma Sanyitaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Lord replied, that Arjuna asked the question, and we see that Lord Krishna readily obliges him. There is no hesitation anywhere on the part of Lord Krishna in fulfilling the request of Arjuna. No sooner Arjuna makes a request, Lord Krishna is ready. This is a simple request of answering question. But later Arjuna will say, Lord, will you please show me your cosmic form? Sure. So Arjuna enjoys an excellent relationship, a very close relationship with Lord Krishna. In the 4th chapter, Lord Krishna did say, Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hetuduttavam. Here Arjuna, to have revealed this uttamam rahasyam, the great secret, I have revealed to you, which cannot be just told to anybody and everybody. Now, how come you reveal to me? Bhaktosi me sakha cheti, because here Arjuna, you are a bhakta, you are my devotee, sakha and my friend. So special person. Devotees are many among them, this is also a friend. And that's the reason why uttamam rahasyam, this great secret I have revealed it to you. And therefore Lord Krishna, we find that, continues to oblige Arjuna by answering or fulfilling whatever request Arjuna makes. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Lord Krishna started replying Arjuna's questions in the same sequence in which Arjuna asked the questions. Kim tad Brahma? Oh Lord, what is that Brahma? So Lord Krishna says, Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Aksharam, immutable. There is a root in Sanskrit, kshar. Kshar means to waste away, to wane, to perish. Kshar means to perish, to exhaust, to wane away, to waste away. Aksharam, naksharati iti akshara. So that, or aksharam, so that which does not wane away, that which does not waste away, that which does not perish, that which does not change, that which is changeless, that which is immutable, that which is deathless, that is eternal. Aksharam. Every language has it, but Sanskrit has this great advantage that for many words, or for most of the words, we know the etymological meaning is easy to derive. I'm sure in every language it is so, not only in Sanskrit. And it requires the scholars in that language to tell you what the derivative meaning is. But in Sanskrit, derivative meaning are easier than perhaps other languages. Aksharam, a means not, ksharam means that which is changing, naksharati iti aksharam, that which does not change, that which does not wane, that which does not perish, Aksharam, imperishable, changeless, immutable. Brahma Paramam. So kim tad Brahma? What is that Brahman? Lord Krishna says, Aksharam. Aksharam is Brahman. The immutable is Brahman. The changeless is Brahman. You look for the changeless. Lord Krishna says that which is changeless is Brahman. Now you look everywhere, wherever you look, you find everything changing. Whatever you can perceive, whatever you can experience always is changing, perishable. Is it not so? The whole cosmos also is, although it will last for a long time, and still, because it had a beginning, it will have an end also. So where is that Brahman? If you look for Brahman, which is Aksharam, immutable, imperishable, changeless, eternal, whatever that you experience here, and whatever that you may experience anywhere else, suppose you go to heaven or Brahmaloka also, whatever you experience is going to be always changing. See, understand how the experience takes place. For example, right now you are listening to these words. And that happens when your organ of hearing illumines these words, and that is how the listening takes place. But we know that our organ of ears can grasp the sound only in certain wavelengths, Meaning this, ears cannot detect the sound in the frequency below certain frequency, above certain frequency. We can only hear the sounds in between certain frequency range. We can see light also between certain frequency range. Meaning that we have these beautiful organs of perception, but then each organ of perception is limited. Therefore, whatever we perceive is always going to be bound, is going to be limited. And what is limited? Limited is that which has a beginning, which will have an end, perishable. Thus, whatever we experience, if you look out for Aksharam Brahma, the imperishable, where will you see? Wherever you see, or whatever you see, whatever you experience, no, but Swamiji, scientists may invent some new microscope, telescope, some new machine. Suppose scientists tomorrow come up with some new gadget, new something, by which they can experience imperishable. People have this concern. Swamiji, what if science comes up with this invention or whatever they develop, that you don't die? That the body does not die, then what will happen to Vedanta? Somebody expressed a concern, what will happen to Vedanta? If scientists tomorrow then just make you immortal, nobody can make anything immortal because what is born is going to die. But even if this body becomes immortal, so what? It is not that simply the continuity of body is what we want. It's not only that we just want to live, but we want to live happily. Understand this. It's not that we just want to live. Many people say, Swami, Bhagavan, please tell Bhagavan, to take me away. Because we love life all right. But we just don't want to live only, we want to live happily. And therefore, even if the scientists can stretch the longevity, which they have done already, I guess 175 years ago in India, the longevity was 34 years or something at the time of independence. And today it is like 70 years, so it has been stretched, and I'm sure the further generation will, live longer, which is fine, bless them. But merely living long is not the goal. Living happily is the goal, is it not so? That the scientists cannot provide. Or nobody can provide. Nothing wrong again, nothing about scientists. Nobody can provide what is you, what is your, what you already have, isn't it? Even Bhagavan cannot provide what you have. Our Swami used to say, jokingly, this man performed the penance, and Bhagavan appeared before him. Bhagavan says, what do you want? What can I give you? Oh Lord, please give me a head over my shoulder. Says, what? Please give me a head over my shoulder. I'm sorry, I cannot give you. I thought you are Bhagavan. You can give anything. I can give anything, but I cannot give what you already have. Meaning Bhagavan also cannot give us what we already have. Happiness happens to be like that. And therefore, Aksharam, if you're looking for Aksharam, immutable, changeless, eternal, out there we find that everything that is experienced is changing, perishable. And that is quite all right, nothing wrong with it. Whatever is created will perish. Jatasya hi dhruva mrityuhu. The death is certain for that which is born. Nothing wrong in it, that's good. What do you think if this goes on and on and on and on, and you cannot talk on? Who wants that stuff, Who wants that kind of life? So, immortality of body, I don't think any intelligent person will want. Some doctor told me, Swamiji, I think we should check out. He says, at 78, 80 we should check out. I said, yeah, that would be all right if that was in my hand. But you will have to check out someday. That may as well be. But imperishability cannot live with the body. Mind cannot be imperishable, they are also changing. Intellect cannot be imperishable, that also is changing. No name and form is impossible, everything is changing. Whatever is created is going to perish, and that is changing. So where is that immutable? You're looking for immutable, you're looking for infinite, you're looking for change. Where is it? Wherever you look, what you find is changing. Whatever you experience is all changing. Aksharam Brahma Paramam. That word Bhashyakara says Aksharam Naksharati iti Paraha Atma. The only thing that does not change or perish is the very subject. The object, meaning that which experience, is constantly changing. That is nature. It is quite all right. But how do you know the change? The change can be recognized only with reference to something that does not change. Is it not so? When you are standing on a platform that is stationary, then only you can recognize the movement of train. Sometimes on two parallel tracks there are trains, and both of them start at the same time. Then you do not know that the neighboring train is moving, you think that it is also stationary, because both are moving the same speed. For spotting the change, you must be aware that there is no change. So the fact that we see everything is changing shows that there is some reference point which does not change. How do you say that something changes? How do you say the world is changing, Swamiji, constantly? Some reference point must be there. And who is the reference point? The self is the reference point. Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Therefore, Bhashyakara says, Aksharam Naksharati iti Aksharam. that which does not decay, that which does not wane, that does not perish, that imperishable, immutable is Brahma. It is Paramam, it is limitless, devoid of the limitation of time, place and condition. And it has to be self. Brahman has to be the self because it is Aksharam, immutable, changeless, and whatever we experience is changing. The truth of experiencer is changeless. Experiencer also is changing. What we experience is changing, the experiencer also changes. So where is this? Where is the changeless Swamiji? The truth of the experiencer, the truth of experience, that does not change. Swami, you are saying two things. Truth of experienced and truth of experiencer. There are no two truths, one truth. One truth alone manifests as the experiencer and the experienced and the experience, The subject, object and experience, one truth, one consciousness alone manifests as all this. And that is Aksharam, immutable, changeless. Aksharam, Brahma Paramam. It is very consoling to know that there is something that is immutable. Our Pujya Swami used to say, the human being is the search of the infallible. The human mind is searching for the infallible. What is infallible? That which does not fail me. That which is trustworthy. We are in search of something that is trustworthy. And the child thinks that mother is God, when it is an infant. And mother is God and Aksharam Brahma for this little infant. And the Swamiji would describe, except once, a cockroach came and mother started running away. And then this brave father comes and picks up cockroach, throws away. Wow! He is. So now from mother I change to father. Infallible, one does not fail. Reliable, trustworthy. Except a dog came once, the father also started running away. So slowly and slowly this child discovers that everything is fallible. Everything has a limit. So mother, then father, then teacher, the child respects these. And then he discovers the limitation of each one of them. When we were studying in the school, the children revere the teachers. Except one evening when we friends had gone for a walk. The only place where we grew up, the walk was we go to a seashore. And there on the sidewalk we saw a group of people around playing cards. One of my friends, very smart, says, "Hey, you see that person there? He's so and so, our teacher so and so." Wow! My teacher playing cards? My heart broke down. Fallible. So everybody shows a limit at some point in time. And therefore the human being is poor fellow, disappointed. He thinks wealth will do that, he thinks power will do that, he thinks fame will do that, he will think things will do that, and each one of them ultimately shows a limit because they are limited. Aksharam, Brahma Paramam, but there is something which is infallible. Something immutable, something changeless, something that ever remains the same, something that is trustworthy, is there in life. Thank God that what we are seeking is there. except not there where I am seeking. It is the very nature of the seeker. This is why we are thrown off. That's what Maya has done. Well, if you want to blame somebody, then blame Maya. So Maya has created in me this conclusion that what I am seeking is out there, different from me. For somehow the 10th man feels that what he is searching for is different from him. He's on a trip, he can go around whole of his life, can never find 10th man, and so this fellow also is in search infallible. In mother, in father, in teacher, in boss, and this and then, prime minister, president, everybody becomes fallible. Aksharam, Brahma Paramam, but there is something infallible, changeless, immutable. And that's not out there. Para Atma, Vashyakara says, is the limitless self, the self that is limitless, that is Brahman. So Lord Krishna begins to answer Arjuna's questions one by one. But the most important is Aksharam Brahma Paramam. If this is known, but Akshara also is used in the Upanishads. Etasyava Aksharasya Prashasane Gargi Surya Chandanasau Vidhrutau Tishthatah. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the dialogue between, say, Yajnavalkya and Gargi. Gargi challenges Yajnavalkya with questions. And Yajnavalkya says, hey Gargi, so Brahmanaha Abhivadanti. So what is the truth? That's what Gargi asks. If Yajnavalkya replies what it is, then God had defined is God had defiled. Then Yajnavalkya is put in a very awkward situation. He says, Brahmana Abhivadanti, the Brahmana, the wise people say. What do they say? This Brahman is what? Brahman is asthulam, ananu, ahrasvam, adirgham. It is not fat, it is not lean, it is not long, it is not short. This is how the answer is given. But what is it? It's not long, thank you. It's not short, thank you. It's not fat, thank you. It's not lean, thank you. It's not hot. It's not cold. It's not red. Kept on denying. But what is it? If you say, what is this? This is not an elephant, thank you. Not a horse. Not a path. Not a cloth. By denying, how do you know this thing? What is this? But then unfortunately, this is the way Vedanta teaches what Brahman is. But you are right, that a pen can never be described that way. If it is described, it can never be known. But here we are talking about something that is already known to us. That is our own self, that we always experience. And that is why it is described as not this, meaning that let go. What do you think you are? It's not tall, means it's not body, not short, not fat, not lean, not red, not yellow, not happy, not unhappy, it's not body, it's not mind, it's not prana. Let go identification, all of them, what remains is you. So this is how the Upanishad unfolds the nature of Aksharam, immutable. Where says Yajnavalkya unfolds that before Gargi. But hey Yajnavalkya, from what you describe, not this, not this, not this, it looks like it's not there at all. Two things can be described like that, isn't it? The horn on my head is not red, thank you. Not green, not long, not short, because he is not there. So what is not there also can be described like not there, not there. No, Gargi is not like that. I am not describing something that is non-existent. I am describing something that is. What is the evidence? So look at the universe. Idasyava aksharasya prashasane Gargi surya chandramasau vidutau. Hey Gargi, it is under the mighty rule of this immutable. The sun and moon are held in that position. See that? It is under the mighty rule of this immutable that the earth and heaven are held in their positions. The rivers flow as determined, that everything in the universe functions as it is determined. Nothing has freedom. Everything functions as programmed. That means there is something. So this is how also that the existence of Ishvara is pointed out. And there is Aksharam. Both it is changeless, it is devoid of all attributes. At the same time itself is manifested all the attributes. So this Aksharam, Brahman, Aksharam, Brahma Paramam. The Aksharam, immutable, is Param Brahman. Then we'll continue the further discussion. We'll give you a break for 20 minutes and come back at 11:35.